Hello everyone, welcome back to the new episode of our tutorial series on Task Manager with PHP and MySQL. In the previous episode, we have successfully added the functionality to display the list on our menu of our home page, and we have also displayed the task based on the list whenever we click on that menu. Now in this tutorial, we will create a style sheet to make our web application more beautiful and more presentable. So we will add CSS to our application and make it more beautiful. So if you are new to this channel or haven't subscribed yet, then please click on that subscribe button and also click on that bell icon so that you won't miss any notification whenever I upload new tutorial series on web design or web application development or software development. And without further ado, let's start our tutorial. Now let's work on styling our task manager app. So let's go to our code, and first thing we need to do is create our CSS file. So go to our task manager or project folder and create a new folder. So I'll create a new folder inside our project and I will call it as CSS and press enter, and inside that folder we will create style.css file. So right click on that CSS folder and create a new file, and it will be style style.css. So just create a CSS folder inside our project, and inside the CSS folder create a style.css file. So double click on that file, and here we will write the CSS for our project. So I will write comment at first. So to write the comment we need to backspace, and we can just simply add asterisk and it will create a comment. It's same as multi-line comment, and here let's say let's give its theme as task manager, and version is 1.0, and author is your name. So I'll write my name, Thapa. That's it. So save it for now, and let's give the default margin for now. So default margin is asterisk. So press the asterisk and create a curly bracket or curly braces, and here we will change the value for our default CSS setting. This already has a default margin and padding, so we will set its margin as 0, and we'll also set padding as 0, and let's save it. And we also need to change our font family. So I'll change its font family to let's say Verdana. I will save it. Just type this, guys. If you want to know more about HTML and CSS, I will be creating new course on specifically on HTML and CSS, where I will teach web design with HTML CSS for beginners. For now, just copy this and follow with me. We won't be working or talking much about CSS in this project. So that's it. Let's go to our project file, and we need to include this style the CSS file in all of our file which includes or which is visible on our browser, except delete list and delete tasks. We will have to include the CSS file in all of our pages. And let's add with index.php. So I'll go to head, and after the title we will add style.css file. I'll type link, and its URL is stylesheet, and let's say href is equals to, here we'll give the full URL, which is site URL echo site URL, and we need to go to our CSS folder, and inside the CSS we have style.css. That's it. Let's save it. So type it, guys. Link rel is equal to style sheet href is equals to our URL. Here we have our website URL, which is site URL, and then folder name CSS, and our file name style.css. So let's go to our browser and let's refresh our home page. And if the link is correct, then we should see some changes. So I'll refresh the page, and here you can see default margin and padding is gone, and our font has also changed, but we have not added the CSS on our other pages, like the list task do not have CSS, add task also do not have CSS. Now we need to link the CSS in all of our pages. So I'll just copy this link and go to the head section of all the pages and paste it. And this is not the best way to add or make changes on a repeating part, but we have to do this. I will show the most effective part, or I will show how you can deal with such things on our more advanced projects on PHP, which will be coming soon. So for now, just copy and paste. So I will paste on list task here and save it. Paste it and save it, Ctrl S, and let's open all of our pages. So I'll open add list, add task. We don't need to paste on delete list and delete task because they are not visible. We have already pasted on index, and I have already pasted on list task. Now I'll have to paste on manage list, update list, and update task. So I'll go to all of these pages. I'll put style.css at last, and I'll go through all the pages. So I'll close this list task and add list. I'll paste it here, Ctrl V and Ctrl S to save it. I'll close it and add task, and here also I'll paste it after the title. You have to paste after title, Ctrl V and Ctrl S, and close it. Manage list after title, Ctrl V and Ctrl S, and close it. And update list after title. Where is title? Here is title, Ctrl V, Ctrl S, and close it. And update task, and after title, Ctrl V, Ctrl S, and close it. So that's it. There were only around 9 or 10 files, so it was easier. But if we had 100 files, then it would be hectic, or it would not be feasible. So we have other methods of doing this, which I'll show on advanced courses. So for now, let's do this, and we have already done it. So let's go back to our browser and refresh the add task. Now it's applied. Let's go to home, and if I go to do, it's applied. If I go to update, it's applied. And if I go to manage list and add list, CSS is applied. And if I go to manage list and update, our CSS is perfectly applied. Now we need to make other changes, like I want this to be I want white space or blank on left and right side, and I want this to be from, I think, this width. So let's make that. So I'll go to index.php, and here after body I will create a new div called div, and its class will be wrapper. And this ending div, I will paste this ending div at the end of our page before body tag. So before body tag, I will paste the div tag and save it. And we will have to do the same on all of our pages. So just copy this div class wrapper and paste it after body. Okay, so copy this div class is equals to wrapper from index.php, and we will paste on all of our pages. So I'll open add list, add task. We don't need to add and delete task, and list task, manage, update, and update task. So let's go with add list. So here after body, I will paste that. Here after I will paste it, and before closing the body, we need to close that div. So before closing the body, I will close it here. So I will close the div, and save it by pressing Ctrl and S. And let's close it, and let's again do the same in our add task. So after body, paste it here, Ctrl V, and before closing the body, you close that div /div. Press Ctrl and S to save, close it. And here in list task, do the same. Here we will paste it, and after that we need to go to closing body, and we will close that div tag here and close list task. Let's go to manage list, and here also paste it here and go to end, and here let's close that div and close it. Let's go to update list, and here also let's after the body tag, let's paste that wrapper or div class wrapper, and before closing body we will close that div and close it. And after in update task, after body, let's paste it here, and at the end before closing body we will close that div. That's it. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's close this update task, and let's save it again, and let's go to our browser. Let's refresh it. We do not have any changes, we haven't made any error, but now we will add style, or we'll add CSS on that wrapper, this class. So I'll show you the magic here. So this is class is determined by period or full stop sign, and the name of that CSS or this class is wrapper. And here I will give its border first. Just for reference purpose, I will make a border first. So one, let's give border of 1 pixel solid red. Let's save it, and let's go to our browser and let's refresh it, and we have a red border. This is just for a reference purpose. After completing the CSS, I will delete this border here, and I want to give width, width, and width will be only 80%. I don't want full width, so save it, width 80%, and save it, and go back to browser and let's refresh it. So we have space on right side, but I want space on left side as well. So what I will do it, I will add a margin, and I will add margin 0, and this margin, if we give margin with a single value, then it will be applied on all of the sides. But if we give the margin on two number or two value, then the first value will be applied on top and bottom, and the second value will be applied on left and right. And on left and right, instead of 0, I will give auto, so it will make our this box in center. So let's refresh it, and it's on center, and we have beautiful space on both sides. Let's give a little more space, so I'll make its width as, let's say, 70%, and I think this is fine. So we have space on both left and right. That's it for now. Now we need to add a padding as well. Padding is space inside that border, so let's add some padding. So I'll add padding of 2% on all sides, and let's refresh it. So we have space here. Okay, now we have added space outside as well as we have added space inside. Now let's work on the title. From top, we will work from top. So let's change the color of our logo, this task manager. For beautiful colors, I always use a website called flat UI colors, and this is it. We can go here, and let's select one color palette and we will use that color palette. Which one should we choose? Let's go with this one, so I will go with this one. And for our primary color, let's use this one. So if you just click on copy, then it will copy the color. So the color of our task manager logo is black, and it is on h1 tag, and we only have h1 tag for this logo, so we will apply that color on h1 tag. So here I will call h1 and parenthesis, not parenthesis, curly braces, and I'll color and colon and semicolon, and I'll paste it here. So I pasted it and save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's go to our site and let's refresh it, and our color is changed. So this is the color of our logo now. And I also want space after space below that logo, so let's add space here. So let's call margin dash bottom, margin bottom, let's call 2%, and let's refresh the browser, and we have nice space below the logo. Now let's add some styling for our menu as well. I think I will make it bold, and we'll also add little spaces between all of this menu. So let's go to index.php and let's check out our menu. So here we have nice class called menu. We have created a class with menu class, so we will target that. So let's go to our CSS, and here we will add menu. This is our class, and inside the menu we have this is menu, and we have a tag, we have anchor tag, and all of the menu have anchor tag. So we will add the CSS on those anchor tags. So here we have inside the menu we have anchor tag, which is a, and let's create curly braces, and for that I want to change the font width. Font width will be bold, so I want it to be bold. So let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's go to browser and let's refresh the browser, and this is bold. And similarly I also want spaces on all of this, so let's add some space. I'll add space with margin dash right. Let's add margin right 1%, and let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it. So I'll refresh it, and we have nice space here. Now let's also add space below the menu. So for adding space below the menu, I will add margin dash bottom and of 2%. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the browser. Sorry, it does not apply like that. I think it do not work like that. It does not work like that. Then no worries, but we still have this menu, so we will target this menu class only. So I'll add menu here, and here I will add margin dash bottom, and here we'll add 2%. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's go to browser and let's refresh it, and we have nice space after menu as well. And we have this, and what should we do? Let's change the color to black. I will change the color of our anchor tag. This is a menu anchor tag, so let's change its color to black. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it. Now its color is black, and we have underline here, but let's remove that underline. So I will remove that underline with text that decoration is none, and let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it, and we do not have underline, but when we hover the mouse over that, then let's display that underline. So let's go to the CSS, and here we will create under CSS menu A and colon hover, so it will be applied only when we hover the mouse over those menu. So its text decoration will be underline. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the browser. And now when we hover over the menu, then underline will be appeared, but when we do not hover over the menu, then underline will be disappeared. That's it. Now let's create a button for our add task. So here let's call that button as button primary. So I'll create a class .btn dash primary, and let's give its color as somewhat like this green, or let's go with this one. Which one should we choose? I am confused. Let's choose this one. I'll choose this one. I'll just click on this and it will copy the color. And then here btn primary, we will add background color ck background dash color, and I will paste it here, Ctrl V to paste it. Let's save it, and we will add the CSS in our that button add task button on add task button. So let's go to that, and where we have add task, so our add task button is here, and here after A let's add class, and let's give it as btn dash primary. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's save it, and let's go to browser and let's refresh it. Now we have background, nice background color, but we want it to be little bigger, so let's give some CSS. Let's give its padding as 5 pixel. Now we are giving on pixel. Before we gave percentage, now let's give on pixel. I refresh it, and it is a little bit bigger. Let's make this font bolder, so let's call it font. Let's give the font weight bold. Let's save it, let's refresh it, and it has bold. And let's remove that underline also. I will remove the underline. So text dash decoration is none. Save it, let's refresh it, and text decoration is gone. And instead of this blue color, let's give it a white color. So let's give color as white, and let's save it, and let's refresh it, and it is this is not visible. So let's give, instead of white, let's give it black. Save it, Ctrl and S, and refresh it. It is more visible. Now let's add a darker color when we hover it, so let's add that as well. So I'll go with .btn dash primary and hover. When we hover it, let's add its background, change its background color to darker color. Let's go to our color palette, and we are using this green, so let's choose the darker color and paste it here. Ctrl V, Ctrl S, and let's refresh our page, and when you hover it, it will be little bit darker. Okay, so that's it. Now we need to change the property of our table as well. So this is little bigger, but when we click on add task, this is little bit smaller. So let's give its width to 100%. So let's create a table with 100% width. So here I will create a CSS for table. So let's create tbl dash tbl width, not tbl width, tbl full, and we will give its width as width, as 100%. Let's save it and let's go to our home page, and inside the table let's add here class tbl dash full, and let's save it and let's refresh the browser, and its width is 100%. Okay, and but the property of our table is not good, so let's make the css for our table. So I will start with table trth. So I will add css on table heading. So I want it to have a border on the bottom. So first let's align the text. So I'll change its text align to left. Let's refresh it. So it's aligned on left, and let's add underline at the bottom. So I'll add border at the bottom, border dash bottom. Border bottom will be 1 pixel solid black, and let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the browser. So we have nice border. Now let's add some padding as well. So let's add padding at the and on all sides. So padding I will add 1%. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it. Let's refresh it, and we have nice space on all of the sides. Now let's add a little bit more space on the top. So here I will add padding dash top, padding top another 2%. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's refresh it. So we have nice space above the task. I think we should add, let's add 5%. Let's refresh it, and we have a lot of space. I think 3 will be okay for us. Oh, that's okay. Now let's add some space on our td as well. So let's go to our table trtd, and here we will add padding of 1%. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh our table. Now this looks pretty nice. We have a pretty space, and it's easier to display. Now let's go to our to do, and but it's not applied on all of this table. Now let's add on our this page as well. This is a list task.php page. So let's go to list task. Where is list task? Here it is. And here first thing we need to change it. Menu is doing fine. We need to add on add task. So let's go to add task. Where is add task button? So here is add task. So this is class is equals to btn primary. That's it. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it, and it has a nice button here. And then we need to give our table a class. This is tbl dash full. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it, and it is nice and big table here. So this is it. So let's click on add tags. We need to work on this, but before working on that, let's check other pages. So no task added, done. We can see another no task added, and manage list. And here we also need to work on this one, but let's go to home and let's fix add task first. So I'll go to add task page, and here I will close list task. So let's open our add task page. So this is add task page, and this is home. Let's call it our secondary menu. So this will be our secondary menu. So let's create a secondary button. This is button primary. Let's create dot btn dash secondary, and let's copy all of this. I'll copy all of this. We will just change the color. So copy paste, and let's we don't need that, so let's change the color of button secondary. So let's go to our color palette, and let's choose the secondary button. As which one should we choose for secondary button? Let's choose this gray. So let's click on this and let's make it gray color button secondary. I will paste it here, Ctrl V. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl S. Let's go to the browser, let's project, and let's refresh it. And we haven't added the CSS here, so add task, and here where is our add home button. So let's give it CLS class btn secondary, and let's save it by pressing Ctrl S, and let's go to browser and let's refresh it, and we have nice gray button. But let's change the color from black to white. So I'll go here and change its color from black to white. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the browser, and this is nice. Now let's add our hover color also. So dot btn dash secondary hover, we need to change background color dash background color. Let's change the background color as let's go to our color palette and we'll add this color, and let's go to our CSS and let's paste it here. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's go back to our browser and let's refresh it, and when you hover it becomes darker. Now we need to manage our this s3 tag. This is s3 tag, so let's add some space above and below this s3 tag. So let's create I will create it here because it can only once we create the CSS for s3 we don't need to change. So I'll create s3 here, and we only need margin, and margin on, we will apply margin on top and bottom. So let's add 2% margin on top and bottom, and 0 on left and right. This is top and bottom, this is top and bottom, this is left and right. So we are applying 2% margin on top and bottom, but we are not applying any margin on left and right. So let's save it, sorry, Ctrl S, 0, Ctrl S, and let's refresh the browser, and here we have nice space between our add tags page. Now we need to add some CSS for our this table. Let's call this table as TBL half. We have already created a table for TBL. We have already created a CSS for TBL full. Now let's call it TBL half. Let's go to our CSS. This is TBL full. Now let's create a TBL half. So dot TBL dash half, and its width will be, let's say, 40%. I think 40% is good. So let's go to add task, and inside the table here just call class, and it is TBL dash half. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's go to browser and let's refresh it, and this is pretty nice. This looks a little bit bigger and brighter. And now let's call this a btn primary. This is btn secondary, and we already have btn primary. This is btn primary, so it will be green. So let's go to add task, and let's call this as this also btn primary. So we will add the class btn primary to our save button. So let's go to our save button, where is save. So here in this, let's call it as input class btn primary. Okay, so let's save it by pressing Ctrl S. Let's refresh the browser, and this is nice and btn primary button. Okay, so that's it. Now we can also make its size. Let's add the size for our button as well. So here we have, let's call btn dot btn dash lg, and here we can increase with padding. Let's call its padding as 5%, or let's give width, sorry, instead of padding let's give its width as 20, let's call it 30%. This will be btn lg. So let's go to our add tags, and with btn primary let's add btn dash lg, and let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it. So it is little bit bigger. Let's increase the width, so I'll add it as 50% and save it, and let's refresh it, and it is bigger and nice. So I think this is pretty cool. This is just a basic styling for our page. We will learn more advanced CSS techniques and web design in our full web design course. For now this looks fine. So let's go to home. We have updated for our add task page. Let's update for our update page, and let's go to update page. I'll click on update button, and here let's change it for our menu. So I will just go to update page, update task, and we will add the changes we made here. So in add tags we have added button secondary for our home. So home will be button secondary. Where is home? Here is home. So it will be btn and secondary. Save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the page, and this is nice. And this table is TBL half. So and this already has applied the CSS of space up and down, because we have already created CSS for S3 tag. Now create CSS, add a CSS for this table. This is a TBL half. So let's go to our table, and this is class is TBL dash half, and let's save it, and let's refresh the page, and this is bigger. Now we need to add CSS for update button. This is btn primary and btn lg. So this is submit button update, and let's call it CSS property btn primary and btn dash lg. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh it, and we have applied CSS in our update button as well. So let's go to home. Now let's work on our manage list page. So let's add the CSS for this page as well. So this is btn secondary, and let's call it btn primary, and this table will be TBL half because there is not much data to show. If it has a lot of data to show, then we call it TBL full, but this only has 3 columns, so let's call it btn half, not btn half, TBL half. So this is button secondary, button primary, and table half. So let's go to our manage list page, and in our home, this is its class is btn dash secondary. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the page. It's applied. Now add list is btn primary, so let's go to btn add list. Where is add list? Here it is. This is btn primary. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S. Let's refresh the page, and CSS is applied, nicely applied. Now we need to work on this table, and this class will be TBL dash half. Let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the page, and it looks nice. This is nicely applied. CSS is nicely applied here. Now let's work on add list. So when I click on add list page, it goes to add list page, and this menu are secondary menu. So and this is primary menu, and this table is TBL half. So let's work on this menu first. So this is add list page. So I'll go to add list, and here in add list, this is btn secondary, and this is also a btn secondary. Let's save it, and let's refresh the page, and CSS is nicely applied here. This table is tbl half, so let's apply the CSS for table. Let's add the class is equals to tbl half. That's it. Let's save it and let's refresh the table, and it is big. And let's add the CSS for our save button. This is btn primary and btn lg. So this is its class is equals to btn primary and btn dash lg, and let's save it by pressing Ctrl and S, and let's refresh the page, and it is nicely applied. So again, let's go back to manage list, and we need to work on update page. So here also this will be our btn secondary, and this is our btn primary and btn lg and table half. So let's go back to update list, and here let's go to our home and manage list. These are our btn secondary, and this is also btn dash secondary, and let's save it and let's refresh the browser, and CSS is applied nicely. And let's work on table and this button. So let's go back, and I think we do not need this menu also, that's why the color is black. So I'll delete this, and I'll also delete this. Let's save it, Ctrl S, and let's refresh it. Now it's white and beautiful. Now add CSS on table, and let's add CSS on this button. So table, this class will be tbl dash half. Let's save it, let's refresh it, and it looks bigger and beautiful. Now let's update this button. So this button will be, here is our input type. Let's call it class as btn lg and btn dash primary. Let's save it and let's refresh the page, and this looks nice and beautiful. Let's go to home, and everything is beautiful and clear. And when you go to manage list, we have our own CSS here, and we can also apply CSS, or we can also create button for this, and button update and button delete. Please try it on your own. Homework for you guys. If you want to do it or not, just try it. And now let's remove the border. So let's go to our CSS file. Let's close everything, and I'll go to CSS, and at the top in the wrapper I will just remove this border in our wrapper class. Let's save it and let's refresh our page. We have removed the page border, and this is our app, and this is how it looks like. I think it looks better with the border. Let's paste the border back, and instead of red, let's call it black, but it's up to you guys. If you want to add border, then add border. If you don't want to add border, then don't add the border. I think let's remove the border, and let's leave it plain. I think this is pretty nice. And this is, guys, we have successfully created our task manager app using PHP programming language and MySQL database. We also applied basic CSS. So if you want me to create more advanced tutorials on web application development with PHP and MySQL, or if you want me to create a new course or new tutorials on web design using HTML and CSS, then please subscribe to this channel, and also share with your friends, and also comment below what courses you would like in future. Thanks so much for watching the tutorial till the end. I hope the tutorial was helpful to you. And do you know, it takes hours to record a single tutorial, and it takes more time or more hour to edit, process, render and publish the tutorial. So to make a tutorial series with couple of episodes, it takes around 1 week or 1 month time based on the length of the tutorial series. So if you want me to invest more time and make more free tutorials for you, then please subscribe to my channel, click on that subscribe button, click on that bell icon, and also share this channel with as much people as possible, so that your friends will also know that they can learn software development and web application development in this channel for free, and it will also help this channel to grow. So thanks so much for your love and support. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on new tutorial. Till then, take care, stay safe, see you soon, bye bye.